Here we are again, the Plus Ones podcast. I've got the delightful Nick Feeney with me today.
Hello.
Thanks for coming, mate. Really appreciate it. You broke a record today.
Tell me.
You were the only one who's found the secret studio off the bat without phoning me. You actually phoned me and I was like, oh no, he's going to be lost. I was like, hello, mate. You know, and then you were outside.
Can you open the magic gates,
I know,
please?
I was like, so here we are in a little
it's
studio.
Awesome. I love it.
Thanks,
Very
mate.
cool. Very
Thanks.
cool.
You know, we make an effort. So, you are the plus one of the beautiful
Andrea McLean.
Andrea McLean.
Indeed.
From presenter, journalist, Loose Women, co-host now, author. I'm sure there's...
I will step in there, James, because one of
Please.
the things she really hates is when people call her a presenter, because she's actually the anchor and has been for 13 years, the longest serving anchor on Loose Women.
Nice, okay.
So, you know, but she's also, as you say, a journalist,
yeah.
an author,
Yeah.
and CEO of our website, thisgirlisonfire.com.
Nice.
Couple of plugs there, thank
I
you.
know, yeah, we'll have that. This is a plug-a-thon. If you need to do anything, once we get 10 million viewers or, and listeners, we'll, this...
Perfect.
That's the aim, One day it'll be the Joe Rogan, one day, maybe. Jay, what do you think?
Definitely.
It's got the chance, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, you never know. So, yeah, no, listen, again, thank you for coming on. I've got to ask, I always... I kind of flow with whatever we want to talk about, but one of the questions I always ask, who pulled who?
Fair play.
Yeah.
Do you know what? A very long story short,
Yeah.
I had literally just come out of a 24-year relationship.
Okay.
And in June. And in November...
What year?
In 2013.
Okay, yeah.
And a mutual friend of both of ours had said to Andrea, unbeknownst to me, she was going through her own difficult time. She'd been divorced a couple of years. She'd been seeing a guy who was just a jerk. And she's like, look, just stop with all this nonsense. Just come out with me, meet this guy, and just worst case, you'll have a laugh.
Okay.
And she's like, well, I'm not looking for anything. I said, that's fine, but just come out, we'll double date, we'll go on a blind date, and we'll have a laugh. So she got a photo of me, and it was really weird, because at the time, I was out in Portugal with her husband playing golf, and he said, Nick, why is my wife texting you asking for pictures of you? And I'm like, I don't know, mate. So I sent some pictures back, and that's what it was for.
Right.
So when I went there, I didn't know who I was seeing. I didn't know a name. I didn't know anything. And I'll be honest, at the time, my head was most definitely not in the right place. Had lots of other things going on. And but because I think we knew that Donna and Dan were coming, we thought, well, worst case, it's four of us going out. It's going to be a night out,
Yeah.
And even when I saw her, she didn't look like Andrea McLean. If someone had said you're meeting Andrea McLean, Loose Women, I'd have known who it was. And even when she said, hi, I'm Andrea, I was like, hi, I'm Nick. I'm actually really nervous. And she went, oh, so am I. And then I sat down and ordered an espresso martini, and I started to waffle, to everyone. And about an hour on, it was like, right, let's go for a meal. And as we were walking out, I said, so what do you do for a living? And she says, I'm an anchor. I'm like, what's that?
You were like, I don't look much like one.
Well, first of all, I thought she was in makeup, because Donna is head of makeup at ITV, and that's how I thought.
Right.
Because she says I work with Donna, so I thought she was that.
Some tech thing. You were like,
And an anchor. I'm like, okay, what's that? And she goes, I host a show called Loose Women. And I went, oh my God, you're the one that sits on the end, aren't you? And she's like, yeah. And literally 2 minutes later, a hen party comes past. Going, oh my God, it's Andrea McLean. Can I have a picture? And a plus one started. Can you take the picture, mate?
And then it started. Yes. See, this is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, and do you know what? That night, it was just a fun night. there was no crawl or flirting from either of us. And then we'd gone to a club, several drinks, and it was like we were just moving out the way. It was really quite busy, and I just pulled her hand over and said, "Come over here." And honestly, it was a moment where time stopped. A charge went through both of us, and then I turned around and said, "I need to kiss you," and it came from nowhere. There'd been no clue from either of us, and we ended up being like 17-year-olds in a corner.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's it. So I suppose in answer to your question, it was me.
Yeah, nice. Okay. No, it's not. It's I love a good romance story. I do. I mean, you know, the way me and Bev got together was really cool. Again, not looking for anything. She wasn't looking for anything, and it just, you know, these things happen sometimes.
Yeah. Well, how did you two meet?
Oh mate,
were you aware of her, or did you have mutual friends?
I was a gaffer, so I was doing lighting for pop videos and commercials, and I was lighting her 6th album commercial. So it was a commercial for my buddy Tony. I got to give him a shout because he'll kill me if I don't. He couldn't do the job, and so he put me in for it. So I went and did it, and I'm up a ladder in the studio. And they're like, you know, you've probably been on set, and you know, and they make a big deal of the talent coming on set, like talent coming on set, and it's all like everyone, you know, stand
by your bed.
Yeah, it is literally stand by your bed. So we got, you know, I'm up the ladder still lighting. She comes in, and I don't look straight away, but I just, you know, when you just feel like an energy come in the room. I felt this unbelievable energy come in the room, and then I turn around, and it was like flipping. It was, you know, in the cartoons when all the birds are flying around. Honestly, it was like
the love
that.
heart started popping out.
It was
the
like,
eyes.
and I just was like, wow, she's like, you know, 'cause I'd never seen her real life, you know, kind of, and I just, wow, you know, she's just so much more beautiful on the TV or when I've seen her pictures, just that radiating. And she got chatting to me. Now this is why I always ask, because she came up and she was like, because I was eating chicken and rice. So training, and she's like, oh, who made that then? Your girlfriend? Oh, no, I'm single.
She was straight in,
and
she?
And this is the weird thing. She's never done that. So she never does any of that. She's like, that's just not been her. So she was like, oh, who did that? You know, your mum? I mean, my mum? I was like, I got kicked out at like 15. I'm like, what? And then she went, and I went, no, I'm single and live on my own. She went, and then apparently, unbeknown to me, she's back in the makeup room going, oh my God, I like that guy. And anyway, nothing happened that day. We chatted and nothing happened. And then 2 months later, I went on a video to see some friends, and they were working on a video shoot, and her video commissioner was on it, came running up to me. He was like, oh my God, Beverly Knight really likes you. And because my mates were on the job, I was like,
I'll wind up here.
Oh yeah, no, all right. When I went, all right, love you. I went, tell you what, get my number off one of the boys, get her to give me a call. Yeah, and I went, and 4 hours later, she texted me, and she was at Le Mans 24-hour racing with Audi, and I was at a wedding, drunk like an idiot. She texted me like this really nice text. She's really like, you know, lovely words. And I'm like, you know, like typical 30-year-old idiot, you know. And it took me about an hour to text her back, which she was not happy about. And that was it. She's stuck with me ever since.
Love it. And was it your 8th wedding anniversary?
8th, just recent, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. How long you guys been?
Well, we've been together 7 years this November.
Yeah.
So we got married on our 4th anniversary together.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So the night we met, 4 years later, we were getting married.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, and the wedding was just literally. So we were a blended family. I come with 2 girls. She's got a girl and a boy.
Yeah.
So the wedding was just literally us 6, plus a photographer and a makeup artist who are both friends of Andrea's and now friends of myself. Yeah. And it was amazing. So my eldest daughter, Tia Lily, she was my best man.
Oh, lovely.
And Finley, Andrea's son, gave her away. And then Amy and Sienna was the bridesmaids. Oh, it was just amazing.
Beautiful.
It was just.
Where was that? Where'd you get married?
In Kings Road.
Okay.
At the registry office.
Nice. And then big party.
Yeah, we had a party. We went back to the hotel, did a few photos, did a bit of a family thing, just again us 6, and then we went to the Ivy and just had a party upstairs.
Nice.
It was cool. It was cool. It was really good fun.
No, it's a good. It is. I just think that getting married thing, I didn't know if it was going to be a big deal for me or not, but after I got married, it was a game changer. You've been married before, right? And so has Andrea.
Yeah.
Did it still feel? I suppose it doesn't matter how many times you've done it. It's the love you feel that day. Surely it can't.
I think the reality is, when you look back, when we were growing up, and prior to that, you
I'm
literally.
Still growing up.
Well, indeed, it's a constant effort, isn't it? But when your mum and dad got married, that was like the forever after, And then when their parents got married,
she got married 3 times.
Yeah. But it didn't work for everyone, and I think that's the thing. Before, if you weren't married and you had a child, or if you were married and got divorced, it was frowned upon and all that. Whereas now, we live in a world that moves so bloody quickly. To actually think that you're going to go, right, that's the person you're going to be with forever, and you've got to grow as individuals together. I'm vastly different from now to when I was 20, and I got with my first wife.
How old are you now?
So I'm 48.
Wow, okay.
So I got with my first wife at 18,
right,
and I then left at 40. So that was my entire adult life, and as far as I was concerned, that was it. That was my forever after. But it didn't work like that. And again, looking back on hindsight, you can see at things that I could have done better, been better, and likewise, as a relationship for both of us. But when I started dating Andrea, she'd obviously been married twice, and fun enough, one of our first sort of discussions, I won't say argument because it wasn't, it was a discussion, and when she went, that's it, marriage to me, nah, I'm not doing it anymore and all that, and I actually got upset, and I said to her, and I said, I'm sorry, I said, I don't see my first marriage as a failed marriage. There is a huge amount of success and reward from that, and okay, the latter years were difficult, and we ended up doing, in my eyes, the right thing by separating. But I am most definitely up for marriage again. And if you're not, tell me now. And that's, we call it quits.
Wow. Okay.
And I said, because you're putting your 2 experiences and then therefore saying that marriage is bad. You just haven't found, and I said to her, you just haven't married me.
Go on, son.
And she went, fair play.
Okay.
Right. But it is that, isn't it? You can't, it's like going into business. If you go into business and you have bad experiences with people, you can't then say having a business partner is wrong. You've got to find a better way of choosing a business partner, because if you keep using the same methods, right, to choose a business partner, i.e. you keep doing the same thing, guess what? You're going to get the same.
You're getting into my world now, or how I live is extreme ownership.
Right, okay.
So that is basically, you're talking about that, is everything that situations we've had put upon us or whatever is we take ownership of everything, and we go, well, how could I have helped them to be better to me, or how could I have done that better to do this? Not blaming, but just saying, how can I be better? How can I do that a little different? How can I win that time? How can I learn from that? How can I take the positives from that instead of, and then with what you're saying with the marriages and all of that, you're taking the positives from it. Business.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't work out. Okay, I got knocked a load of money. Why? Okay, maybe I did this, and then yes, there's bad people, but there's always signs, and I think we can always learn. I
totally agree with you. I think the thing is, if you blame someone else, then it's not your fault, is it? And you can go like that. Oh, well, you did it. I didn't do it. They were bad to me. They took the money. But when you start taking responsibility from your part, because let's be honest, we can sit here and have the best will in the world to create a business plan. there is a whole freaking universe going on out there that has got other things going on, stuff that we don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So with the best intentions, you can only control that bit that you can control. You know, no one saw COVID coming, and you could have had an amazing business going, 8 months ago. Now you could be on your ass.
Yeah.
So I think the thing is, take responsibility for what you can take responsibility for, but it
So
also
true,
it empowers you to then move on.
So true, like ridiculous. Yeah, that is honestly, you know, I read a lot of self-help books, and you know, mind optimization.
What's your favourite one? There's got to be one that comes in.
It's difficult to pick one real, like, because I've read so many, and there's so many that I've taken bits from. I mean, I think Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins was,
Okay, nice.
just because it encompassed so much. You know what I mean? It kind of gave me a real base level view on stuff, and changed the way I thought about a lot of things. And then I read a lot of different books, you know, like about the monkey brain, the chimp paradox.
Such a good book.
Really, you know, and then there's other, you know, books that I've just gone, they resonate with me. And I've got friends who say, I don't read self-help books because I don't need to, like, you know, blah blah blah. But I know that, you know, what they're saying, or I've been doing that. Usually they're the people that are in trouble with things and blaming everyone else and all that. Because I think the more you read, the more you learn. What gets me with the books and learning and all of that is I pick bits and I think that's why that I felt like that, or that's why there's other people that do this, and you know, like morning routines and all of these things.
The Miracle Morning. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've read that. Yeah, that's a good book as well. So yeah, and I just recently read this high performance book that was really good. Brendan Bouchard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. All right. Yeah, that's a really good book, and I do like. There's a clarity chart that me and Bev now write out every Sunday for the week ahead, and it just sets you up for what you want. There's a few little questions and things that you fill in, and people you want to communicate better with, and you know, and it's really nice. It sounds. I've recommended it to a couple of people, and I think it helps. I think it works.
Do you have a paper diary?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to send you a book, right? It's one of Brendan Bouchard's daily planners. All right, and I guarantee it's got that 7-day thing. But what it does, it breaks it down to a daily habit as well. You know, because if we all get up every day and go, it's just another day, what am I doing? You know, you don't know actually whether you've had a good day or a bad day. And it's not always easy to wake up every day and go, what's the outcome I'm going to achieve today and all that. And I get that. But to have a bit of a focus and everything like that, because you can sit there and go, as many people do, I had such a shit day today, or this didn't go my way. But
or two things happen in the morning and you go, the day's gone.
Just people that do that. What's my third thing? You go, well, if you're going to look for it, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. I think self-help books, podcasts and everything, you could, you know, it's all about mindset. If you're in a bad mindset, like some of your friends that you're talking about, where I don't need it, or it's not for me, or anything like that, they're quite right. It's not actually going to work for them. It's like anything, isn't it? You know,
you have to be open to even a little bit, but you have to put yourself in that to gain something from it. You know, if you block yourself off from, and we've done this as a couple. We've worked on that more together. So Bev, she doesn't need the same routines that I do, because she's just naturally a very kind of happy, and like, you know, I'm quite, you know, I've had a lot of dark stuff happen, so I'm quite dark, you know, in there. So I have to have all these things to kind of balance me, and, you know, just, you know, be positive and all that. She's just naturally happy and, you know, go lucky and all that. And that's great. But then you still can benefit from these books and like these little tricks and tips. And she's now gone more into that, and it's balanced things, and she's working more on, you know, business stuff and ideas and you know, it just helps. I think it just those percentages, isn't it? It's
well, I also think if as a couple you're both doing it, you've got more chance of it succeeding, because obviously if one's growing and the other one's sitting there going, I'm fine, I'm awesome, I don't need this. You know, it's not helpful. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong and you're right. It just, you know, for any relationship to work, you've got to be aligned, haven't you?
I think there's got to be a certain amount. They're definitely, for me anyway. But then I think that's my how I am as a person. You know, as I say, there's only one diva in every relationship, and it's me. So I'm that.
Wow. She's a diva though.
No, I am. It's like categorically it's me. I was chatting on one of my podcasts as well, and it was Claire. She was saying, her and her husband. Someone's the flower and someone's the gardener. You know?
Right.
Yeah, that was her analogy. I was like, I like that one. I might steal that.
I think going back to what you said about, you know, what works for you won't necessarily work for them. And that's something that me and Andrea ended up sort of finding out the hard way, because, you know, I am a very much, when my alarm goes off, it's like, and I'm boop, out of bed, you know, and she really wants to take her time in the morning and everything. I mean, I even joked yesterday. I said, Andrea, you can lose mornings, you can lose days. And she goes, no, I'm getting better at that. And I'm like, how old are you, darling? And she said, I'm 52. I said, no, you're 75. I said, that's how much time you've lost. But what I meant by that is she'd go, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, look at this pretty thing. Oh, I'm going to tidy up the garden here. Oh, I think I'll make a cake, you know. And I think the thing is, like I said, I'm like, get up, do this, meditate, gym, whatever it is, boom, boom, boom. And I'll have structure, because structure for me massively works. Because if I lose a morning, I have the most unproductive day, and I have to then make sure I'm not chastising myself for having a crap day.
This is scary, because it's ridiculously. We are ridiculously similar. Jay's thinking, oh my god, it's another James sitting.
You set me up.
Yeah.
Talking to the same person.
Money.
I bet she paid him money under the table. Yeah.
There's a call card up here, isn't there?
Mate,
I'm reading off auto cue.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, you've got to find what works for you, and you've got to obviously, hopefully, manage that within a relationship. So the stuff that we do as individuals now, Andrea never did. So when I came on board, she just worked. If she gets a job in, she gets a car, come and pick her up, they take her there, everything's sorted and all that. You know, now she's a businesswoman. She runs her own female empowerment site. We've got staff working for us, we've got freelancers. You know, you have to look at it from a business point of view. It's completely new to her, completely. And when she was reading like a lot of these books initially, it actually made her feel inadequate. But it's like all of us, you know, you got to look at these books. Firstly, you can't read 20 self-help books and implement every aspect of them, because most of them will contradict the other one, right? You just got to pick one thing from them that works, that sits there. But also, it's about mindset, because you could have read that book 6 months ago and thought it was amazing and taken 5 things. You could read it today and go, okay, there's 1 or 2 things from there, but actually most of it I know. So again, it doesn't make it wrong. It's where you are on that moment. So we do work on ourselves, and we do not quite as structured as you on the Sunday, but I will say planning our week, planning our day is something that I'm just trying to push a lot more, because again, if you know what you're trying to achieve that week. So for example, Andrew's got a new book out, and it's called This Girl Is on Fire, How to Live, Learn and Thrive in a Life You Love. It's her most open book. Now,
I've seen some of it.
Well, when I started dating Andrea, she'd already had one book out, and it was Confessions of a Good Girl, and it's basically an autobiography.
There you
That's
go.
a word.
Boom, have that.
Spit that out. And And it was cool. And what was weird, going back to our first date, is when we sat there, she went, right, by the way, blah, and told me everything about her life, good and bad. And she said, and the reason I'm telling you this is because you could leave here and Google me, and
Get a
90% of it is sensationalized, made up, and shit, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you it from my side. And I'm sort of sitting there going, does that mean I have to tell you my stuff? Because I'm not sure I'm ready for that, And but anyway, the point is, she then, in our relationship, she wrote a very open book about her health battle with going through the menopause and what that brought on.
Yeah.
But the reason she did that was to help people, because what she found out was, even though it's something that most women go through, what she couldn't understand that most women didn't have access to the people she had access to. And it wasn't because she was a celebrity and had money. She literally went to an NHS doctor who happened to be really good and ended up writing as the expert in the book. So she goes, right, I'm going to put everything I've learned into this book. Now, funny enough, what we're talking about with getting up, doing the best we can, and
Seizing
everything,
the day.
yeah, that was part to do with why she ended up hitting a wall, face planting as we call
Because
it,
she
and
was
having a
putting
nervous
too much-
breakdown
I know.
because she had other shit going on, stuff she hadn't dealt with in her past, and also thinking she's this massive failure because she's reading all these books, listening to these podcasts,
She's doing all this
you
stuff
gotta
still,
do this, get up at 5, go to the gym, da da da. And she's like, I can't do it, I'm failing. And so she hit a wall. So she's written about it in her book. And again, it's just to help people because you've got to find your way of working.
And it's hard to do that,
It's very hard to do.
I'm very much... I'm one of the biggest things I'm trying to work on the most is not to judge, because that's really hard, to not put my feelings of what I want to do onto people, and that's hard because in a control kind of freak
But it's
person
human,
I am.
though.
Yeah, it is, but I try not to do it. I try and just, give as much help and advice I can, and just try and do it not to it's hard.
It's my way is the right way, absolutely.
Yeah, because there is no right way, but I'm also trying to tell that to myself, to just be gentle with myself and be kind to myself, and because I'm my own worst enemy. I will.
But we all are.
Yeah, exactly.
We would never speak to ourselves, or sorry, to our
Someone else,
friends
like we do,
the way we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
We all do it, and it's finding out that way to do it. But also, if you're, and again, very similar, I just want to help people. So before, I would give them my opinion without them even asking. And then all of a sudden, because they're not actually looking for it, and this is one of the things I massively have had to learn in this relationship, and probably would have served me well in previous relationships, but Andrea sometimes comes home and will have a moan about something. She's not looking for my opinion. She doesn't want any answers. She just wants to offload. And that's
then
it.
Carry on with her evening.
And I'll be honest, it's not always, because sometimes you sit there going, okay, I'm listening. And then she goes, well, what do you think? And I'm like, all right, okay, now I'm going to speak. But I just think sometimes, and it isn't always easy, so we have to be gentle on ourselves. But it is, some people just want to talk, some people want that advice, and you've just got to work out which one it is. But also, if you get it wrong, it's from a good place. So you can't beat yourself up.
No, and the other thing, some people you can give them all the advice in the world, and they're just not ready for it at that time, And then humans, we have to often get to overload or breaking point before we do something. You see it all the time with health, don't you? People, have to have a heart attack to then transform. Or
maybe I shouldn't eat and smoke as much as I do.
And I'm not. Look, if you can do that and you can get away with it till you're 80, 90, crack on. But I would recommend trying to not do that so much and be a little bit healthy and, but it's
easier, isn't it, to eat cake and drink Coke and be unhealthy. And then you go, well, I need to go to the gym, but my God, that's hard work. And the difference is, if you have a slice of cake, it's instant gratification. It's like, I want some cake because it's going to taste nice. Oh my God, it tastes nice. Done. But if you go, I want to go to the gym because I need to be healthy, you don't go to the gym once and go, oh my God, I feel amazing. It takes time, and it's
same as
hard.
supplements. They're like
any of it.
yeah.
Any of it that takes time, most people don't do.
But it's difficult. It's difficult to, because I'm a completely different mindset. I mean, this morning, you know, for instance, I've got a chest freezer in my back garden that I've filled with water, and I get in it every day.
Okay, it's good.
You know,
nice ice bath.
Yeah. So, you know, when I say that to people, they actually think I am mentally deranged, and I am, but you know, in a good way. And that, no one can understand why I'm doing this apart from like probably you know, you understand why. And now I've got another friend who actually does it, Paul, who I've had on the podcast. So, you know, people can't understand. I want to put myself in uncomfortable positions. I want to experience like myself in the fire of like, and see how I can control my mind. How do I react? How do I breathe? How can I, you know, even doing this podcast today, I was nervous again, you know. I'm nervous every time I do it.
Yeah.
I could easily just stay at home and eat cake.
Yeah.
I genuinely
But
could.
who could? I love cake.
Yeah, no,
I love cake.
I could literally just sit at home and eat some carrot cake and not do this, you know. But I'm fascinated by people. I want to find people's stories. I want to see, am I the only nutter out there? You know, like what, you know, what's going on? So, and with the mindset stuff, I want to test myself because I've been through a hell of a lot of grief. I'm sure you have as well. And we'll get into some other stories about business and, you know, but how can I make my mind calmer and, you know, under pressure? And then, you know, when I'm in the water and it's, you know, it's 0 degrees and I'm trying to breathe and I'm, you know, even before that, I'm arguing myself. You're getting in. No, you're not. Yes, you are. No, you're not. For like a while, you know.
I can imagine.
You know, so all those things. But then when I win, just like making my bed in the morning, just like meditating for 10 minutes, just like, you know, being organised and going to the gym and doing, it's a little wins, all little wins, you know, and that, I think for me, it adds up to a big win where I feel better, more productive, all of those things.
How old are you, James?
45 next month. Okay.
It's interesting because, you know, it's when and I read this report literally last week, but I'm also aware of, because when people men specifically get to their mid to late 40s, it's when it's the biggest amount of suicides. Right?
It's frightening.
48 and 3 months by all accounts, and this was a test carried out in 125 countries, over 500,000 people from all different walks of life. So prosperous, wonderful, healthy living to poorest. 48.3 is when men are at their most unhappiest. Right? And I think, you know, we are looking for our purpose. We are looking for our mission.
Massive.
We are looking to say, have we, you know, in the time that we've spent already, had a purposeful life? You know, when I die, are people going to remember me for this, that? Am I going to leave a legacy? Or whatever. And I think we probably are the hardest we are ever on ourselves at that moment in time. And like, even listening to you saying what you're doing, just from someone that's been through stuff, I would say to you, whilst a lot of it's good, be kind to yourself, because pushing yourself to do that, pushing yourself, there are times when you go, do you know what? If I don't do that today, that's fine.
Yeah, and I've
use good language to yourself.
I've accepted that now. So a year ago, 2 years ago, there was none of that. It was like, if you know, you're a machine, you're an animal. You know, like that's it. You are like focused. You know, all of that. There's not now. It's like, you know what? No, it's like if I don't do that, and this is the flip side of routines. Exactly what you said about Andrea as well as yourself, I'm sure you have to balance them, because if you have a strict routine and then you want to do something that's out of that routine, you end up all over the place and angry with yourself and telling yourself, I haven't done this. And you have to be kind, as you say, and be gentle.
I used to put so much in my routine. So I've read The Miracle Morning, right? And Andrew's so grateful that I'm not getting up at what time I was getting up before, but I still have a purposeful morning. But I also remind myself that there's another 23 hours in the day, so I can do my reading over there, or I can listen to a podcast there, or whatever it is that I need to do. And but then I would cram my diary with everything, and all of a sudden a phone call would happen, or I'd have a technical issue, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you're not in my diary. I've just lost an hour. Oh my God. And you end up beating yourself up. You get stress, and that manifests itself in many ways. Whether you become irritable, you get eczema, whatever it is. And clearly it's not good for you. I just think, going back to the point with Andrea, and just before we had a break in August, I was getting quite snappy with Andrea because we worked together, we lived together, you had lockdown, and I thought, that's not me. That's not who I am. And it's like, right, we're doing too much again, and we keep finding ourselves doing too much again. So this September is, and can I swear? Yeah, okay, this September is our fuck off month. Basically, if it doesn't serve us, it can fuck off. So even doing something like this, if I felt it wouldn't serve me, thank you, James, but fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd rather go and play a game of golf. I'd rather chill out in my garden, right? It's not about, well, if I'm not doing that, I can be in the office. No, because again, I was doing my 60, 70 hours in my office. My home is now my bloody workplace. It's just, those hard. Four walls are closing in.
That I've been finding. I've found. I never seem to relax at home. And this is you've
got to be so disciplined to do that. So because we still have children at home, and do you have any children between? Right, okay.
We just got a dog.
It's good enough, right? So we have the children at home, and
do you have all of your kids there?
So how it is and it's changed slightly recently, but up until recent, you'd have Finley and Amy 80% of the time at home, which are Andrew's children. My eldest daughter now works for us 3 days a week. Great. So she will come up on a Sunday and I take her back on a Wednesday. Nice. Now, ever since I've separated or divorced my first wife, I've always taken my daughters out for dinner on a Wednesday. It's a 140-mile round trip just to see them midweek. And then I had them every other weekend and half school holidays. So there's a general good mix of when we're all together and things like that. And likewise, when Finley and Amy go off with their other parents and dad, then we make sure that it ties up. So then we're all in the house together.
Yeah, that's nice.
But
getting back, you were saying
but you've got to make it so. We were getting in the office, doing all our stuff in the morning, getting in early, getting tied into stuff. We weren't coming out that office till 7, 8 o'clock, by which the children have had their own dinner. We've barely seen them, and we're just like, sod this. This is not cool.
Life's too short.
So we then go, right, and it's very easy when you work for each other to not put a little bit of structure. So, for example, you could talk about this bottle of water we got in front of me, but an hour and a half's gone, and you might talk about the bottle of water, but a cup of coffee you had over there, and So we now go, right, we've got 40 minutes to talk about that bottle of water. What outcome do we want from this conversation? So that we're a lot more focused. So then we can finish at 5 o'clock to go for a walk. Right, to get our steps in, to get some fresh air, to see a bit of nature, to stop,
Yeah.
You know, like our commute,
Yeah.
that you would have had to break that space of working. Because the
Yeah.
trouble is, you're working from home, you walk into the kitchen, you haven't had that downtime.
Yeah, you're still on your phone, you're emailing, you're doing this, you're
Exactly.
looking at, you could be doing that 16 hours a day.
Yes. So we're like, right, that's it. And we
Yeah.
have cut-off times.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard. It's very easy to fall back into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something that happens, you know. But I think you just got to be really kind to yourself and try and set some things in that work for you as a couple, but work for you as an individual as well. You know, because that's one of the things that myself and Andrea are very aware of, is that, you know, Andrea is Andrea. She's also a wife, and she's also a mum. And those three personalities all need looking after. And she also needs to turn up as all those three people, you know. So, and you'll never get the balance right, but you've got to
There's a lot
work
of pressure
on it.
on women as well in that, especially in the spotlight, you know, I don't think I could, you know, I always say to Bev, even when she's doing a theatre show, you know, you could say, oh, she's only on stage for 2 hours a day or whatever, but she's so much more than that, you know, and you never understand how tiring that is. You know?
People think if she's on at 8 till 10 that she rocks up at 10 to 8.
Yeah.
You know,
does that
goes
little
on
thing,
and comes off at 10.
and then
She
feels
only
fine.
works 2 hours a day, and there's a huge amount of prep that goes into that. And likewise with Andrea, she's obviously on Loose Women from 12:30 to 1. They're like, oh, you only work an hour a day.
No.
She's up at 5:30
Yeah.
to get into London
Yeah.
for the morning
Prep,
meeting.
do all that, do the run.
They build that show that morning.
Yeah.
You
Well, the other
know?
thing, that being on for however long that is tiring. Like being, you know, in front of cameras and stuff like that, when, you know, especially live TV or whatever, same as when Bev's giving 100% on stage for 2 hours is like doing a 4-hour training session. It's brutal. You know, I wouldn't fancy doing
But it's
it.
fight or flight as well. Your adrenal is just absolutely going like that.
Yeah.
You know, people don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, Beverly's on stage live. She can't go halfway through her song and say, sorry about that. Just going to start again, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Places, please.
Yeah.
And likewise, Andrea is live.
Yeah.
She's got to get out for those counts. She's got to deal with, you know, it could be a heated debate
Things in the
over
ear,
here.
She's got to be on live.
She's got 3-4 people talking to
I
her
know, that's
in her
insane,
ear.
yeah.
You know, she is. It's incredible. It is a skill.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and people think they can do it because she does make it look so effortless. But it's like
So
anything.
hard.
When it goes well, it is easy.
Yeah.
It's when it goes bad.
Yeah.
That's what she's paid for.
That's the same with
You
Bev.
know.
Bev's had stuff happen on stage. I'm sure Andrea has on set. And they just gloss. They don't even change
No one would
face
know.
expression.
No one would know.
And you're like,
Yeah.
man, that's good. Like Bev's had stuff going on in the background. I've heard it. And she's just, you know, like, nah, you know, still singing away or doing whatever.
And
it's
everyone
just,
in the ears going, fucking hell, oh
Yeah,
my
it is.
God, oh my God.
It's like the swan
The world's
analogy.
gonna end. And
Yeah,
she's
it's
like,
it's the swan analogy, you know, and
100%.
I think that we've all got that swan analogy of, you know, it's all serene up top and, you know, the legs are flat, you know.
It's called Instagram, isn't it?
It's called my life, that's another, and that's the thing with all of those pressures now of, you know, of being a star. You've got to get your Instagram up and you've got to connect more with this and that and boom, and, you know, you got to be, and it's like that's tiring as well, you know. That'd tire me out. I get tired of talking about it.
Yeah, I think the toughest thing about that is how freely people feel. That, you know, so you could put something out there and go, I'm really proud of my podcast and all that. Oh, James, you sound like a twat on it, and your guests are arseholes.
Yeah.
And
by the way, I do
but if
think
they
I
walked,
sound like a twat as well, so it's fine.
But you know what? We all do. No one, over 80%.
I'm going to own it before anyone says it. Yes, I look like a twat and I sound like a twat. There you go.
I'm not getting involved in that.
I know, but I'm owning it before anyone can say it.
But no, it's funny. Like I listened to this podcast the other day, and this guy teaches people to change their voice. You're like, what? But he actually teaches people to sing as well. He taught Bradley Cooper to sing for A Star Is Born.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
But what he was saying about the voice is because 9 times out of 10, we are used to hearing our voice go out and not come in.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why when we get a new phone and we record our answer phone message, it takes us about 20 minutes because no one likes bloody how we sound.
Yeah.
And then you end up going, yeah, it's me, leave a message.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
it. But no, going back to
That's interesting. You're
Instagram.
going to have to send me that. I'm going to have a listen to that, yeah.
But going back to Instagram and any sort of social media, you just wouldn't walk down the street and say, excuse me, mate,
Oh, yeah.
you look a bit fat.
Yeah, or your top
Or
shit.
you're top shit.
Yeah.
But people feel
They
that
can
they
just
can
say-
do that.
I know.
And I just think, you know, it's a sad world when on one side we're going, everyone needs to open up more, everyone needs to support more. And on the other side...
As soon as they do, let's
Well, even
fucking
Andrea
berate
put
them.
a really raw post out about her book. And you get people going, oh my God, how much money did you get paid? Clearly doing it for PR. And you just think, do you know what? If you've got nothing helpful to say, just don't say it.
And the problem is, as human beings, because we haven't evolved from where our brains are still looking for the...
Fight or flight.
You know, we see the bad and we focus on that. And because we're always looking for the negative because we're thinking things are going to kill us or whatever. So, you know.
I think again you can work on that.
You
know,
can,
because
you can.
and she does, and she
Still
now
gets
sees
us all,
it.
though.
Well, she
Still,
sees
yeah.
it as a front room.
Yeah.
So she invites people to come into her front room.
Yeah.
Right, and then if someone's really bad, she goes, "Look, guys, this isn't working.
You're
I'm
out."
going to kick you out." And actually, she feels quite powerful now having that sort of mindset, because unless you're going to bring something to the party,
Yeah.
right, you can go. You're not welcome. So she's now starting to do that, and that's working for her.
So what? Because I think, you know, we talk a lot about teamwork, you know, because and it's funny that the more people I'm having on this podcast, the more I'm finding it really, really, really is, you know, teamwork. It's so far I haven't had anyone yet who's gone, no, it's completely separate. We just do our, you know, I do my thing, she does hers, or he, you know, I this. No one said that yet. So did you kind of slowly get more into kind of Andrea's business side of things, or was that straight from the start? Because me with Bev, when I first got with her, it was 12, 13 years ago. And I didn't really have much, you know, to do with it. I wasn't involved much, but as the years have gone on, I've become, you know, so much more involved with stuff. You know, we talk about stuff. We work a lot of stuff out, business ideas, things, you know, a lot of stuff. Have you morphed more into that, or did it?
Excuse. Yeah, I think definitely because when I first come in, I'll be honest, when we started talking about things, I was just horrified about the type of industry it was and how people were. I'd be like that. Why don't you tell them to fuck off?
Same as
Why,
me,
you know,
music industry.
just don't do it then.
Yeah.
And well, you have to because and da. And it's brutal. It's not very nice. And Beverly and Andrea, especially as women, have to be so thick-skinned and so strong to even still have a career that they've got. You know, because actually talent isn't the number one requirement here.
Yeah.
You know, where someone can go on a show and get their boobs out or say something controversial or behave in actually such a way that it's car crash telly. They go, oh my God, that's great. Let's put them on. You know, it's a weird industry,
Yeah.
for example.
If you just seem to just, because Bev's never been, you know, one to put stuff, you know, and sensationalize and all of that. She's just done her thing. She don't drink, she don't smoke, you know, she didn't go out partying, falling out of cabs and all of that.
Same as Andrea.
Right. You know, and that, I presume that's why Andrea wrote the Good Girl book.
Yeah.
Because the same as Bev. Bev got ridiculed in the music world because she was so boring.
And
in the
nice.
newspapers, fucking ridiculed for, you know, boring and this and that and like good, you know. Ugh. And it's like, well, she just doesn't, she's nice. She don't want to hurt people. She doesn't want to be mean to people. She genuinely cares about people. And, you know, like, how can you berate someone for that? It's insane.
Well, Andrea was
It's
called
like-
Snow White.
Oh, God, fucking
And
boring.
actually, when she then ended up having an affair, and it wasn't an affair, it was a controlled moment because she was so unhappy, and that person, a girl he was seeing, found out about it and sold a story to the news of the world. It was a moment. And then it's like, well, it's an affair because you're married. So that blew up, news of the world, everything like that. People actually went up to her afterwards and went, oh my God, I'm so glad actually you're not perfect. I mean, it was literally, they were just so pleased that she just wasn't this good. Because it makes
nuts,
people
isn't
feel a little bit inadequate about themselves.
Yeah.
And even now, where, and this is something, a constant thing, where she will be nice to someone for the sake of being nice. In that industry, it's like, what do you want? What are you trying to get? I don't trust you. So
Yeah, there's a weird thing, that whole trust. They people didn't trust Bev because she didn't drink or do drugs or what? It's like, that's the thing I love most about my wife is the fact she never did drugs. She doesn't drink. Those things, that she's level-headed, that she's, that she's kind, that she's caring, she's empathetic, all of these things, all of those things is something that she's brought more to my life. So, another thing I like to kind of ask about is like what our partners have brought and what we've brought to them, and she's brought me all of that, to try and be a better person, to be more caring, to be more, all of these things. So that I think is, and to get berated for that it's just like, it's just odd. I don't really.
It's a weird industry, isn't it? And
Yeah.
and this is where I taught. So going back to the question about getting involved with the business, when I first got on, I had an investment company. And I just said to her, okay, when she was telling me about her woes and concerns about the industry, I said, okay, well, what's your backup plan? What's your plan B, C, D? Also, what do you want to do? So we talked about that, and we put a few things in place to start implementing them. So she, again, giving her a bit more control over what went on and how she was seen.
Exactly the
as
same
well.
with Bev's do, yeah.
And it's been a steep learning curve in certain things, because also I really struggle sometimes when she comes back and she's been treated in a way, and I'm just really upset by it, but almost you cannot do anything about it. So going back to my earlier point, where you go, okay, what can we control?
Yeah.
So we can control this.
Yeah.
So maybe that thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to change them from crying, moaning, fighting them or anything.
Yeah.
We're not going to change
going down there,
the
strangling
industry.
them isn't gonna,
So what can we take from this,
Yeah.
and what can we do about it?
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
So
So that's what we
important, mate.
apply into our lives.
So important.
we tried, like at one point Andrew said, I'd really like you to be my manager. But the trouble is, it didn't work, because I'll be like, well, okay, sorry, that's not happening. You're not doing that because that doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, well, in TV it does. I said, well, hang on, no. You're talking business here. This isn't TV. This is a business element of a TV industry. That's just wrong. And she felt in the middle between an agent who didn't like me getting involved, right, and herself. So we went, look, this isn't working. Let's stop. We still have our business interests. We still do a couple of other things here, and I'm a massive support for you, But I mean, she ended up leaving that agent, and now we work with someone that totally gets it, that we're a team, And so that's great. So I do have quite an involvement now, but it's more about, as we say,
it's a support, not
what we can control,
Yeah.
not the industry she's in.
Yeah.
Because you know yourself. If Beverly went, I'd love to do this show on BBC One, for example, that they might go, oh no, because you're not this, or you're too this, or something like that. You don't get as many choices as the outside world would think, that you can go, well, I'm Andrew McLean, I'm just going to do this, or so
that it does not work like that. You have
it
to.
doesn't.
Bev in particular, being a woman and a black woman, has to fight hammer and tong for everything she's ever had, and it's still hard to get anything, but we don't bitch, we don't moan. She doesn't bitch, she don't moan, she just works harder.
I'll be honest, right?
You know?
when I first, not when I first met Beverly, but when Andrea had interviewed Beverly, and one of the first things I said was, I cannot believe she's not more successful than what she is. She's got such a talent, and I'm not just saying this, 'cause I genuinely said this to Andrea. She's such a powerhouse. Why is she not global? Why is she not a mega star? You know, and it probably goes back that she has her own troubles in fighting to get a place, get seen, get heard, get booked, and people just think it's so easy, and it isn't. And again, as husbands and partners, when you're behind the scenes and you know why and what's going on, it's so frustrating.
It is.
And difficult.
It is.
But like I say, then you have to get into the mindset is what can we do about it?
Exactly, and that is it. You know, each time you've hit the nail on the head. You cannot sit and cry and moan and go, oh, it's because of this and it's because of that, and oh, you know, blah 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 blah. That can all be true, but it doesn't mean it defines you or it's the reason of or whatever. We're still, you know, got things we're going to work on and things to happen for Bev and myself and everything. You know, at 40, whatever we are, and
you got a whole life ahead.
Yeah, we're not done, you know. And I put it like this: I started really being a sensible human being about 27 years old ish. So
That's early then.
28. No, but not being a dickhead. Like, you know, being.
I go back. That's early.
Yeah,
that's early. Most of us take a bit longer.
No, but I mean really bad.
Oh, right,
like,
okay.
yeah. So my bad and other people's bad, I think, are probably quite off. But then, you know, so I think, well, if I can achieve and all the mad stuff that's happened, good and bad, in 15 years, basically, well, I've got another 40 maybe years or more.
Easy.
So I'm like, well, that's how I think. I'm like, well, and have you read the book The Second Mountain?
No.
Oh, that's a goodie.
Okay.
It is what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
It's about the second coming of your life, like the second part of it, where you realise in your 40s that it's not all about money, or it's not all about this, or it's not all about that. It's actually about being happy, about finding balance, about being kind, about blah, 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 blah. The good shit, you know, and finding purpose so you don't top yourself, you know, and that is genuinely. And I think, you know, even this podcast for me, it isn't just about, oh, you know, celebrities, because we're not about it. Me and Bev, we're very private people, which is weird doing something like this. But I want to find out exactly what we've talked about today, and it's fascinating. I'm super grateful that you've talked about it, and just naturally, because that's obviously stuff that interests you. But it fascinates me that how we all work and how we can be better and kinder and all of those things. And it just... Yeah, I just love all, you know, I love it all.
Well, it's great, but you know, it's never too late to start, is it? You know?
You're right.
And the thing is, all those years that you have, 45 years, is experience, and you are exactly where you are meant to be
right now.
Right,
That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, you know, what I love about life, right? It's every day, if you are lucky enough to wake up, right? Because many people don't. If you are lucky enough to wake up, whatever's going on in your life right now is just your now. It's not your forever. And that means if everything's great and if everything's shit. You know, I love this saying, you know, the good news is nothing lasts forever. The bad news is nothing lasts forever. You know, and within 3 years' time, you know, if you look back 3 years ago, 5 years ago, where were you? Where are you now? And likewise, in 3 years' time or 5 years' time, and especially in this world that it moves at such a pace, you know, the opportunity that we all have is amazing. And I just think we should just wake up every day and just, you know, really seize that day and just go for it.
Right. So, do you have a routine, both of you? Obviously, you sound, by the sounds of it, do. Please, if you can tell us about it, and if Andrea does, because I also want to. I want to give a bit of a blueprint. You know, each time I have a guest, I want to ask what do they think, you know, is a path to success. You know, so if we can help people by stuff we've talked about today and give a bit of advice to go, oh, things might help. What helps you guys?
Well, Andrea definitely has a routine, and and again, it's taken quite a while to get to this.
Yeah.
But so if on a work day, for example, so she's got up at 5:30 because the traffic getting into London has just gone mad again. So she gets up.
Sadiq.
Oh,
Don't. It's not.
Don't.
Don't even get me started on the Mayor of London. Just anyway.
Yeah. Well, we're part of that. So, but she gets up half an hour earlier just so that drive in isn't as stressful.
Yeah.
And then she gets
Which is a good point to everyone to pick up on.
But that's the thing.
Take
you
a bit of
can't
ownership.
change, but you can't change. You can't then drive in and start shouting at everyone and then do it every morning and expect it to change.
Right.
I go back to what I said.
This is beautiful.
You know, so what can you do about it? So she gets up and now she has instead of like an hour and a half, nearly 2 hour drive, she's in 45 minutes, right? She's in a good place. So she'll get there, she'll go to the gym. Right.
There, great.
It's because she's in White City. So
Brilliant.
she goes to the gym.
Brilliant.
She meditates.
Brilliant.
She's a massive fan of journaling. And either writing down good stuff, bad stuff, thoughts, whatever. And it's not like it doesn't have to be in any order. It's just whatever's going on in your head. And sometimes getting it out. And that you're either getting rid of it or putting it out to cement it in your head. So she's a massive fan of that. So when she starts her day at Loose at 8:30 for the morning meeting, she's worked on herself so much, generally would have listened to a podcast as well on the way in, and she's in a great place. So that's her routine, and that's what she does.
Wicked.
It
Amazing.
is, and it helps her.
Yeah.
It massively helps her.
Yeah.
You know, my routine's a little bit more sporadic. Funny enough, because I was very rigid and I do all that. But I suppose, like today, I got up a bit later today. We went to bed late last night, and then also Andrea's alarm that doesn't normally disturb me too much. Oh my God, she had it set on very, very loud this morning. And then put it on snooze and it went again.
Oh, what time was that? 5:30?
Yeah, 5:20 and then 5:30. And I'm one of those people that if I wake up,
You're up.
I'm up. So I sort of snoozing around and that. But so I get up and I sort the dog out in the morning. And the funny thing is, you know, as a puppy, he just wants to play. It's like a toddler. So I give him 5-10 minutes to play because otherwise I'm like, oh, get out of the way. And I just think, what am I
Makes you feel
doing?
good though, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's what a great way to
I
start
know.
the day, to just have that nothing else, that focus.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about meditation, mindfulness, meditation, right?
There's processes in playing with the dog.
Mindfulness is being present.
Yeah.
In whatever you're doing.
I agree.
You don't have to sit there and watch your breath and things like that. It's about being present. So that's my mindfulness. I'll generally do some sort of exercise. So I might go to the gym or I train. Now, the funny thing is with my training, I've trained for years. So I've been consistent. So I don't have to train heavy
as much. Yeah.
But I'm consistent.
Yeah.
But I've got my new little thing that my goal this year is to be able to do a freestanding handstand, like the yoga one. Where you put yourself up.
Oh, right. I can't put my legs up yet.
All right. So
like I can do a handstand, but I can't. Yeah. That's annoying.
No, I mean
me as well.
literally go down and pick up.
Yeah.
Because my goal by the time
I still do this at 40 odd years old.
Because my ultimate goal is by the time I'm 50, I want to do the human flag.
Okay, yeah.
And a planche.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is, look it up. That's tough.
It's
So the type of training I'm doing now.
You're a big guy as well. I mean.
But you know what? If I showed you what my body shape was a month ago, I've put on nearly half a stone because I bulk up quickly, so I don't actually.
That is ridiculous.
This is body training, not
that
weight.
Is ridiculous. You've got genetics of like.
Honestly,
I've got the worst genetics ever. I've literally been training full bore for 6 months, eating, regimentally jail and I've literally put on half a kilo.
Mm-mm.
Well, actually, no, I had to say I put on like a couple of kilos, but I was lean before, and I'm still lean, but I put on a tiny bit of muscle. I haven't got.
My mates would say to me, you could look at a weight and put bulk on. But also... cut.
Yeah, it's cut there.
But also, it's not just a lump, it's defined.
Muscle, yeah.
But again, since I was a kid, have exercised.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that, and also my metabolism and everything, I've never yo-yoed. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, when I partied, everything was extreme.
Yeah.
But, but there was always that
still
balance.
Train and do things.
Yeah. I mean, in my heyday of partying, I was pissed 4 times a week, right? And eating my KFC or whatever at 3 o'clock in the morning. But then at 9 o'clock, I'd walk 5 miles with the dog because I was on the coast. I'd go down the gym a bit later on, So, and I generally ate well. And I tell you, kids, if you're listening,
I didn't do any of that.
The best thing to get any sort of shape is what you put in your body.
Yeah.
You go down the gym 7 hours a week, that's cool. But there's 161 others, right, that you got to do the right stuff in. So this new training regime is what's really motivating me at the moment, because the trouble is I can't say, right, I want to look a particular way and then that's my goal. I don't want to fit into a pair of jeans because 9 times out of 10 I can do that without trying. So I need something more to motivate. Again, you just got to find what that thing is for you.
Yeah.
And like last year, I wanted to get my body fat down to 9%, and 11% is like athlete. I was like, well, how do I do that and things? And I still want to eat my cake. I still want to have my McDonald's and things like that. So how do I do it without living like a McDonald's? Absolutely.
This. Oh no.
Any of it. I'm in. Absolutely.
Genetics. I hate genetics. I hate them.
But again, it's what you can do in your control. Because Andrea's the same. She actually she's got better because you go, oh my God, it's all right for him and blah, blah, blah. And I said, that's quite negative. I said, because whilst I'm this, you've got to work differently. You've just got to find your thing that works for you. Yeah. But ultimately, I still lived my life. I gave myself 3 months, and I didn't test it for one reason or another. But within 4 months, I got down to 7.5%, and I still lived. And again, it is finding that balance and finding what works for you.
I think with especially with training and diet, I always say that if you want to make a real change, you have to be super, super, super regimented for like 3 to 6 months. Like anyone, if they want to lose, like really make a massive change in anything you do, you have to be, super regimented for like a decent period of time. And then after that, you can then just try and, bring the odd thing back. And it's the same as business, I think, or whatever. You have to like go lock it in, I believe anyway, to make a real, like a life-changing thing. You have to lock it in and go, right, that's what I'm going to do for that period of time. Because otherwise you just don't see the results that you do. I've got friends who yo-yo diet and go, oh, well, I'm on the 5-2 or I'm on this. And
I don't get that.
And it's utter crap.
I think the thing is, people, right, and I know this podcast is so much more and hardly anything about the +1, but like, maybe you do 2 separate podcasts, I don't know.
Yeah.
But diet, right, is not finite.
No.
It's infinite. So you don't just do 30 days of 5-2 or keto or whatever, and then you go, boom, I'm done. Well, you might do if you want to lose 2 stone and you lose 2 stone and then you don't care what happens afterwards, right? But you have to do something that's sustainable and for your body. And if you start starving it, in not giving it what it needs. It will take what it needs. You could put lettuce in, it will turn it into fat if it needs to.
Yeah.
Right. So ultimately,
Just by the negative thoughts of you starving yourself.
but it is with things like that.
Yeah.
You know, there's impact on everything.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, there's 161 other hours that you got to focus on. So you just got to look at something and go, what is my lifestyle choice? What do I want? Because, you know, if I want to live to 80, 90, 100 or whatever, you know, those 30 days are irrelevant. And I think we all look for these quick wins rather than going, okay, in a year's time, 2 years' time, I want to be.
People can't, it's very difficult in this modern, definitely in this modern world, is to go, well, and like I say to people, you take 3 months out of your whole life, like let's say 80 years, take 3 months to not eat crap, to not eat things, you know, for 3 months, that's it. And to train 4 times a week, no, like categorically no. And you just think, well, where does that set you for everything else? If you just can't focus something for 3 months, because 3 months isn't, you know, in the grand scheme of things. So people do want that magic pill, and I understand that, because I'd like a magic pill that made me look like you in 3 months. In fact, I'm going to be trying to buy it off you afterwards. No,
I'll have a wee in a minute and see if I can make one.
Yeah, just get that and I'll drink that wee. I don't care. It's like, it's all good. I'm like, but yeah, it's, you know, so it is. But it's an age-old thing as well. And you know what? It's like the fountain of youth, isn't it? You know, we're trying to find it. I mean, I have found it, and it's in my back garden. So, you know, grand a time, anyone, you can come round and use my chest freezer. You know, but yeah, it's like finding that, you know, magic bullet, isn't it? And,
but even the ice bath, right? It's amazing, amazing what that does for your health.
Yeah.
So I have a cold.
Really.
Yeah, you look amazing. I have a cold shower every morning.
Great.
Because of the benefits of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. She's got into it.
Same as Bev. How much did you have to nag her?
Well, this will make you laugh. Right?
Bev, I'm sorry, baby. I had to nag the hell out of you.
Well, I was talking to Andrew about the benefits of a cold shower, right? And we'd been to a Tony Robbins thing, so that's why they were talking about it on there.
Did you went to an actual event?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I've never been.
All right, go. It's another conversation afterwards.
Yeah, we've got we could do about 7 hours.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous.
So we learned about the benefits of it, and I was telling her. So what you do, you know, you have your warm shower first, and then you crack it down
2
to
minutes,
cold, right? Anyway, I've got it there. I've cracked it down to cold. I pulled a fucking muscle. It was so cold. I've gone like that, and I've pulled a muscle in my neck. It was hysterical. She's like that. I mean, she's on the floor. I'm on the floor. It was hysterical. Brilliant. Absolutely hysterical.
Payback. Payback's a
brilliant.
Bitch.
But you know, I'll take it because it was bloody funny.
Yeah.
And so yeah. But no, we do it. And what we do our Wim Hof breathing with it as well.
Oh, mate.
Just because, again, to exercise those lungs. And if you think, you know,
CJ,
with COVID,
soon, mate.
But with COVID going on and you're talking about respiratory and things like that, again, what can you do to take control?
Yeah.
You know, and you make sure your immune system's in a good place, your head's in a good place.
3 minutes a day.
Right, and you do the breathing.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
And you really exercise your lungs, because most of us are shallow breathers.
Yeah.
Right, and we use a fraction of the capacity of our lungs, and it's like anything: you don't lose it, you use. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. So we massive 2 minutes, and
Amazing,
so it's good. So yes, she does do
I
it.
like that. Good,
she
Andrea.
does
Well
do
done.
it.
Yeah. So Bev has got into.
What I will say about Andrea, right? She is stronger, more determined, and more competitive than me. I mean, you saw her on
Bev.
SAS. Did you watch that program?
Mate, I did. I mean, I love that show.
She's
I know, she's amazing.
When she got asked to do
it, she was for me the standout. Yeah, I know she went after a little while, but for me, I was just like, I was blown away. I absolutely blown away.
Well, so when she was asked to do it, she turned it down a few times, right? And then they were adamant that they really wanted her. And when the head of the channel rings you up, you go, okay, I'm going to do this. And that was quite an honour for her to have someone like that. She goes, oh my God, they really want me.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
So then we started watching the programmes. And what's mad...
She was like...
No, so literally they're falling off backwards off things. And literally I'm going, I wouldn't do that. And she's going, I'll do that. We go to these places with our kids. So we went to an aqua park, right? One of these massive inflatable things. They're going, go on, Dad, jump off. And I'm going, no, I don't know. You know, you fight your fears. You do it. I'll climb down. And she goes, I'll go. And she jumps off. And I'm like, great. Now I've got to jump off. I mean, she is fearless. And I think why she came across so well, if you knew her, she's a pretty one that sat in the end that you think, well, you know, I didn't think she had it in her. And if you didn't know her, you think, there's this 50-year-old woman, right, who looks like, you know, very pretty and everything like that, smashing it, just getting on with it, doing the runs, right, doing a fight, getting in, doing a crawling, you know, and what they don't show you, like even with the interrogation where she ended up breaking down, she was marched around the yard for 45 minutes with a bag over her head. So when you go in that room, you haven't just come out of having a cup of tea and cake going, hi guys, you know, and it's for the camera. It's brutal.
It's brutal. They ain't playing. They're not playing. They're you know, they're harder on them because they're celebrities.
100%. But the first one, they were significantly harder because they had their reputation. I mean, I've met the boys, you know, and they were like, you know, we were taking no prisoners because this is our brand. This is what we do. So hats off to her. She is one tough cookie, and she will do stuff that I just won't.
See, Bev is... I'll do anything stupid, anything. You know, I've been an MMA fighter, pro MMA fighter. I've jumped out of this, and I'll jump off that, and I'll do this, and I'll do anything. I'll try. You know, Bev won't do all of that, but mentally, I call her my lioness because she is. You know, if someone went for me, or she'd die. You know, she would just. Don't worry about me, worry about her. You know, she's like a velociraptor come from nowhere and just get, you know what I mean? That's her. So she's got that toughness. She might not do all those, you know, and things, and she, like the jungle, for instance, she don't like spiders. She's better now, but there's things like that. But her mental toughness, she's unbelievable. And she's competitive, but like quietly. She's not like me, who just, if we go on, let's say we went to a stag do or whatever, I banter people to try and get in people's heads. You know, in your competition, I'll banter them. Even though I'm shit at stuff, I'll banter so much. Jay knows this. I'll banter so much that I'll put it in everyone's head that I'm going to kill everyone or smash everyone. Sometimes I do all right. Other times I fail so bad and then get destroyed. But I don't know what it is. I love that. I kind of love that getting destroyed because I'm like, you know. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But yeah, Bev is, very strong. But that SAS thing was amazing.
Incredible.
I'd like to try. I would like to try.
Yeah.
You know, see if I could go on the normal should do like a week or whatever. I don't know, but that would be.
Yeah, you see, I'm quite happy not trying.
I'd quite like to try.
But I am aware, and going back to something you said, I don't push myself too far out my comfort zones too often.
You don't.
And I know
Really?
that's something I need to do.
I did. Okay.
It's something I'm trying to do. Hence. Doing this today.
Well, this is it.
This is not my thing.
Right. Well, this is amazing. I'm
So-
super grateful, and you know, you're more than welcome to come to the Keith Spa. You know, for the the freezer.
The
you know, it's
freezer,
there.
I'm
Welcome
in.
anytime.
I'm not paying
you're
a
ready.
grand for it though.
All right, you'll get it free. Bloody hell.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Do you know who my missus is?
Yeah, I know. Listen, so. This is a bit of a frivolity of like, because I've had some, you know, we've talked about some amazing things. We've talked about some of the negatives of being in the spotlight and stuff. I've got to do some unbelievable shit being a +1. Like some of the stuff I get to do being a +1. What's been your, like, the moment where you're standing there and you're like, how the hell? Because I've got a few.
Right. Okay.
And I want to know, because, you know, it's such yes, there's a big downside to it and blah, blah, but us, you know, unbelievable plus size to the life that we get to, you know, vicariously live through. You
Definitely. Do you know what? I think clearly going to some wonderful events, meeting some incredible people.
Yeah.
You know, certain people that I may have idolised or something, looked up to. Next minute,
You're sitting on a table with 4 of them.
or I'm around their house.
Yeah.
You know, or something
Yeah.
like that is quite insane.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of things. I mean, there's a basic one, right? I was on a plane once, and you know, we're with Andrea, and we're sitting in our premium economy, and they come up and they go, "Excuse me, there's been a seat change." I mean, I was up quicker than her, right? I'm like, I'm gone.
Before they can even say anything.
Excuse me, there's been I'm up. So, yeah, so, you know.
love a bit of luxury.
So that was cool. That was cool. And, you know, like I say, I've got to meet some really, really cool people.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most surreal things was going round to Robbie Williams' house for Boxing Day one year. And
As you do.
yeah, I mean, I've been to his concerts.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a big fan of him. And just, I mean, the thing is with me, and it's not like, because some people get this wrong. When they meet someone famous or someone they admire that's famous, they think, right, I'm going to act cool. And they almost,
too cool, like,
but they end up being rude.
Yeah.
So they would go to Andrea, and funny enough, a member of my family is a prime example of this. Almost like, yeah, I know who you are, though. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I don't watch it. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I had to look you up, who you were.
Yeah.
And then start to peacock themselves and all that. You know, and
I'm special too.
oh, it literally is an inadequacy in there, you know. And the amount of people that do that, it's insane. But what I'm about to say is that I see everyone, we're all human. You know, and it was an amazing thing to see him. And I was like, hey, you know, and he's like, come up to, hey, Nick, and gives me a hug. And I'm like, oh my God, just give me a hug.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't gush, but what I will do is I will honour that situation that I'm in Robbie Williams' house with Robbie Williams,
On
who
Boxing Day.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
This is a
Be your best. This is the
this is a
best
big
version.
thing for me.
Yeah. And
I'm just really grateful to be here. I just, you know, I just want to know that I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
You know, and that. And that's funny enough what I say to Andrea sometimes, because she'll say, oh my God, that's so-and-so. I've always loved her, or I've always admired her. Just go up and say hello then. Oh no, I can't. You know, I've interviewed her once, but she won't recognise. I said, listen, I said, go up.
Yeah.
She's human, you're human, and go and tell her what you think of her, or go and tell them.
Yeah.
And
Funny,
I
isn't it?
think
There's
is-
still that dynamic, isn't it? Yeah.
Literally.
Bev can be the same, you know, and you know, but then it's funny that when she does, it's like, you know, and then it's like this amazing energy, you know, these two amazing energies together. And I love that. I think it's that. There's been the upgrades and stuff like that.
They're always nice.
Well, I'm a council estate boy, and you know,
so am I.
Right, when there's a bit of luxury involved, I'm there. You don't even have to ask, do you, Jack? I'm there, aren't I? Like, you know, give me like some, you know, 600 cotton thread sheets or 1,000. I'm there. I'm in them. You know, I'm like, and that's what I'm like. I love to like rough it, and I don't care. I'll be in the same clothes, climbing trees in the mud, you know, that's how I am. But man, I'm like, I love a little hotel stay and a little holiday, and you know,
definitely,
a little upgrade every now and then.
You go and book a room and they go, oh, we've just changed your room for you, or we've just done this, or we've just done that.
Holiday.
You know?
Like, we've been given free holidays and trips and things and hotel, and you just think, and you're getting like these amazing, you know, like the presidential suite, and I've taken pictures of myself, you know, next to the presidential suite. Because it's like, but I love. We're so grateful That's the biggest thing. Because you talk about journaling for Andrea, and but I do my grateful list.
Yeah.
I do my 3 things I write down every day that I'm grateful for.
Good.
And
We do something similar.
Yeah. So that is a big part for me, and I had to work on that. Like in years gone past, because I didn't think about any of that when I was young or anything. I was always blaming everything and.
But we all were.
Yeah, and it is. But
unless you got to remember, right? We are products of our parents, right? And my children are products of us. And what you are taught at school are pretty much none of the things you need in life. You're not taught about how to build and work on relationships. You're not taught about budgeting or anything like that. You're not taught about job applications. Okay, certain schools will go into that now. But you taught algebra.
Yeah.
I
was taught how to stand outside my classes.
Well, you're probably good at that, I'm sure.
I'm brilliant at that.
Perfect.
But
I think that's the thing, so you are not born with these things. You have to learn them, and you have to be drawn to them as well. Because people can say that to you.
Yeah.
Practice gratitude, but if you don't see the benefit of it,
or you have to have gone through enough bad things, I think, to want to change your feelings, because there's no one is going to change your own feelings and emotion. No one. If you're looking for outside sources to change your emotions or your feelings, you're going to be an unhappy person for your whole life. That's why buying stuff and having things and blah blah doesn't make you happy. It doesn't. Look at unhappy billionaires or what. Being content with where you are now in the moment you are is one of the most important things. And just being, you haven't got to be like, oh, I'm happy and buzzy all the time. You've just got to be quietly.
But you can't be happy every day.
No.
You're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a flat day.
But you've got to always have the positivity of happiness. You know what I mean? Like have that, the happiness is always there.
It's an inside job.
Yeah. There you go.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an inside job. If you are not happy poor, you're not going to be happy rich.
Yeah.
You'll just have different problems.
Yeah. There's that thing. There's that thing, Gary V. Someone said, Gary, but at least you can cry in your Lamborghini, wiping your tears with a $100 bill or whatever. And he was like, "The fuck? What, are you insane? Why would you be crying in your?" Because he's all about kind of doing stuff, but he's also about being. Obviously, Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk. He's also about being kind to yourself and other people and nurturing and caring and all that. And I think that you can be that in business as well. That kind of old model of like you've got to rip everyone's eyes out and like in business. Well, no, you don't. You can still be tough and get good deals and all of those things, but you don't have to kill people on the way up or through or whatever.
But going back to getting good deals, so that's funny enough. So Andrea, for example, would go, well, if she'd check into a hotel and all that, and I say, right, we'll see if there's a room upgrade. She'd go, oh no, that's embarrassing. I said, look, stop. I said, if you weren't a celebrity, I would be going in and asking for a room upgrade. Okay, so if that's fine. If you don't want it, I'm going to. If I'm going to buy something, my dad was.
Yeah. Right. So
if I'm going to buy something, I'm asking for a discount. It is what it is. And now, funny enough, the first time, like, so she get offered gifts and things like that, she actually asked for something for the first time.
Nice.
This year.
Good.
And she got it. And because she was always goes, no, I'll pay for it. I'm not going to do that. And now she's gone, do you know what? I've actually mucked up, haven't I? I should have started asking a lot earlier. And I went, yeah, you should. Because it's bartering. They're not giving you something for free.
They're not.
Because you're a nice person. Yeah. You do that, and they give you that.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world. Before we got into money, I'm going to give you a cow if you give me a sheep.
I know.
It's how it works.
I know.
And she now sees
life.
it
Across the board. It's leverage and doing stuff. It's giving and it's leverage.
It's win-win. It's both ways.
Winning.
Absolutely.
As long as you're doing as much for them, you're giving them as much. Me and Bev talk about this all the time. It's adding as much value to people as we can. We try and give as much as we can. If we're going to enter into something with someone, for instance, we will try and go above and beyond what they have asked for. You know,
but
whether it's a little Instagram
though,
post or, you know, we go more.
Yeah,
you know?
but you're only going to do that with something that A, you want, and B, you believe in.
Yeah.
Because the amount of things that we get offered that we're like, I don't know,
I know,
we're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's got to be on brand and on message. Yeah. You know, but otherwise, damn right, love a freebie.
Love a freebie. Oh, mate. Well, listen, I honestly, we got so much to do. I'm going to have to get you back because we're going to have to talk about a lot.
Well, you'll probably want to know some more +1 stories because we've just learnt loads about each other.
Yeah, but you are each other.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, right, but what we've done is talk about mindsets and routines and structures and things like that, and you know, talking about Andrea and, you know, your kind of lives together. This is what I want it to be. I want it to be. What we've talked about might help someone. It might go, actually, I might try that, and you know, in my relationship. So to end, I want to just ask what. Before we started, we talked about ego, and we talked about, you know, obviously, you know, your partner, and it might be a husband or wife, being deemed more successful, or earning more money, or, you know, doing whatever.
The breadwinner.
Yeah. What's your advice to someone going through that and struggling with it, maybe?
I think, you know, when I was with my first wife, I was a breadwinner. And then when I got with Andrea, she just again through timing, I ended up stepping away from my business and went from earning decent money to earning no money, and then working on ventures with Andrea. My contribution is my time and effort. As opposed to bringing money in the pot. I mean, I do bring some money in the pot, but in comparison to what she brings in, you know, she's most definitely the breadwinner. And certain men may look at that as emasculating, but I think, you know, you need to step out of that because we're in very different worlds, and it is just your ego talking. It doesn't take anything away from what you bring. I mean, if you sit at home on a sofa moaning about it, eating cake, you're a twat. You don't deserve that woman. You know. So ultimately, you're a team. Yeah. And as long as both those people are happy in how that is working, you know, then I think
that gets back to the adding value thing.
Yeah, of course.
It's all of that together, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I know, for example, that I've secured Andrea good contracts because of my interaction on it, you know, or even spotting something, going over there, bringing it to the table, you know. So I know I don't have to sit there and go, yeah, but can we just work through what I bought in this month and everything like that. But I will say, as I've grown up, I really, really, really have such a small ego. Because actually it's not an effective thing to have. And it's not like I sit here going, I don't have an ego, so therefore I don't have an ego. It's just really not productive. And one of the things that when I separated from my first wife, I said, whatever happens, I'm coming out of this a better person. And one of the things that you said earlier about, you know, what you've learned from being with Beverly, you know, I have also learnt those same things. You know, I'm a much more compassionate person. You know, and I say this, I've said it quite a few times before, and I say it again, it's a Jack Nicholson thing, right? But she makes me want to be a better man. You
exactly
know,
what I say.
I
exactly
understand so much more, especially working on our This Girl Is On Fire website, all about female empowerment, also being a dad of 3 girls. You know, the reason men have their position that they do in life is because they are fearful of women, because they are the greater sex. Goodness me, if we had a period every month, we'd have a sick day, we'd have a week off, we wouldn't cope, right? They have to deal with so much more just living, let alone inequality in life or, you know, sexism or any of that. right? Just by living, they go through so much more than us, right? They're incredible. And I think we should really honour the women in our lives, and we should do everything that we can to understand them. And I tell you what,
And
any of the
lift them up.
guys listening, you know, it's not them and us. It is you both. You are a team, and you got to work like that.
Lift
and
them up.
It is, and learn.
Yeah.
You know, like they learn about being a bloke, you know, and our simplicities, and we have to learn about them and about their complexities. And I think ultimately, you know, I have definitely become a softer person and a much more open person just by being with Andrea. And I want that to continue.
Beautiful. Mate, I think that's a beautiful way to end. I literally, I could talk to you for hours, and as I said, we haven't got into so many other things, but brother, thank you so much, Nick. I'm
Thank you for
super
having me.
grateful.
That's been great.
Yeah, we'll talk again. Appreciate it.
Awesome.